Yes, someone please volunteer to sing Narsingha prayers. Yes, Madhu Mataji, you raised your hand.
I put in the message, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes, yeah, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Ladadaine Hiranya Kashipurvakshaha Shilatankalakhalyahe Hito Narsimho Pagro Narsimho Yato Mitato Narsimho Bahe Narsimho Hridaye Narsimho Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade Tav Karakamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai Shri Shri Vishnu sorry Prabhu I forgot
No.
नरसिम्हा भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय गौर भक्तविंद की जय हरे
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, Mataji, and thank you all the devotees for joining today's session. We changed from Friday to Wednesday to Monday. So thank you for remembering and joining. I am using my laptop. Seems battery is dead, so I just joined from Sita's tab. So I am not very comfortable with this tab, and so I don't want to share the screen, because it's very I confuse because it's a small apparatus. I humbly request all the devotees, you can access weather-based Bhagavatam, okay, locally on your devices, please. Okay, so it will be useful. In our last session, we discussed till verse 14. Yeah, so 9 to 14 we discussed. I will give a quick recap, and then we will continue. So sages of Naimisaranya. So we are continuing. So the sages of Naimisaranya, they are requesting Srila Sutta Goswami. So
Prabhuji, should I share the verse?
First, let me give the recap. Then you can share. So, sages of Naimisaranya, they are requesting Srila Sutta Goswami, and they they requested to explain the essence of Vedas in an easily understandable way. So this is one point we need to remember. Okay, not so critical, so not very, scholarly. Though they are self-realized, though they are well knowledgeable, it's not for their sake, for our sake. Okay, so they requested to explain in an easily understandable way, and that is for the ultimate good for the people in general. Okay, for general public. Okay, so they are all working for general public. And then why? So they forecasted what exactly is going to happen. The coming age is iron age of Kali. Yeah. So the influence of Kali, due to the influence of Kali, people are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, they are all disturbed. So these are the symptoms of people in the age of Kali. So to save from this, influence of Kali, yeah, so they requested to explain the essence of Vedas in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam in an easily understandable way. Okay, and then there are so many scriptures actually. Yeah, there are many varieties of scriptures, and in all those scriptures there are so many prescribed duties are given. Okay, but it is very, very difficult for the people to read through all those scriptures and understand those prescribed duties and put them in implementation. So that is the reason. Yeah, and also the duration of lifetime in this Kali Yuga is very, very small. Okay, so that is the reason. What they said is, okay, give the essence of all those scriptures. Yeah, so that is very, very important point. Okay, and then, okay, that's fine. In verse 12, they have chosen the subject matter also. What is the subject matter? Please explain us about Vasudeva, who is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Okay, the personality of Godhead appeared in the womb of Devaki as the son of Vasudeva. Why? Means they want to hear about Krishna only. Okay, of course. Suta Goswami knows. Okay, he is going to speak about Krishna, and here the audience, since the audience are highly elevated. Okay, so they also knew. Knowing about Krishna is the highest priority and ultimate goal of life. Okay, here both the speaker definitely highly qualified and audience are also highly qualified. So that's why they have chosen. For example, we are getting guests. Okay, so generally we don't choose the subject matter. Okay, depending on the level of audience. Okay, these sannyasis, they choose the subject matter. Okay, what topic? Okay, if they are all grihasthas, okay, let me speak about grihastha life. If they are students or youngsters, something related to them, like that. But here both are highly elevated and both know the goal of the life. Okay, and they want us to know about Krishna. That's why says of Naimisaranya. And there are so many demigods. Why they want to know only about Krishna? Because they knew he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, and from verse 12 onwards, they want to know about Krishna and they want to know the incarnations of Krishna. Okay, so they mentioned we are very eager to learn the personality of Godhead and his incarnations. Okay, and in verse 14, living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately. Why they want to hear about Krishna? Because knowing about the Bhagavan Krishna only frees us from the material entanglement. By chanting his names only, either knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously. Yeah, here it is mentioned like, unconsciously chanting also, the people will be, freed from the fear personified. Understand? So that's why they want to know. In verse 13, they said they have chosen the topic. We want to know about Krishna. And in verse 14, they are giving the reason. Why about Krishna? Because if we hear about Krishna and if we know the pastimes of Krishna, that will only free us from this material entanglement. So the reason also, they have specified. Now from text 15. Okay, Gaurav Prabhu, would you like to share the screen?
Yeah,
Text
text
15.
15.
Yeah,
Okay.
please. Are you allowed?
Yeah, 1 second. Let's see. There it is.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Can someone please volunteer to read the verse?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I read please?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yatpada Samshraya Sutta Munayah Prasamaya Naha Sadya Punanti Upash Pristaha Swardunyapo Nusevaya.
Okay, Mataji, could you please read the first line? The last one is not Sutta, it's Suta. Please read one more time.
Yeah, sure. Yatpada Samshrayah Sutta Munaya Prashamayanaha Sadya Punanti Upasprishtaha Swardunyapo Nusevaya.
Yeah, translation.
Yat, whose, oh sorry. O Sutta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Mataji. And verse 16, Sloka, verse 16. Gaurav Prabhu, move to verse 16. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please.
हरे कृष्ण को वा भगवतस्तस्य पुण्यश्लोकेऽन्यकर्मणः शुद्धिकामो न शृण्युयात् यस्य कलिमलापहम्. Who is there desiring deliverance from the vices of the age of quarrel, who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of the Lord? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks so much, Mataji. Text 17, verse. Someone else?
I can recite, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
तस्य कर्माणि उदाराणि परिगीतानि सुरीभिः ब्रूहिणा श्रद्धानानां लीलाया ददातः कलः.
Translation.
His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please, therefore, speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Prabhuji. Text 18, Sloka 18. Someone else? No one volunteers?
I'll read it.
Yes, please.
Athakya he harel timan avatara katha subha lila vidadata svairam iswarasyatma maya. O Vaisutha, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead's multi-incarnations. Such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by his internal powers.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Soumya. 19. Can someone recite?
Prabhuji, I'll recite the 19th.
Yes, Mataji, please.
One moment. Where is it? Okay, yeah. Vayam tu na vitrapyama uttama shloka vikrame yach shinmatam rasajnanam svadhu svadhu pade 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 pade. Translation.
Yeah.
I can't see the whole thing. One moment, Prabhuji. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead. I can't, yeah. Who is, Prabhuji, I can't read the whole thing. Give
Okay,
me
no
one
problem.
moment.
I'll read it.
Okay, yeah. Prabhuji, that's fine.
Yeah, we
My
never
database
tire
is
of
open.
hearing the transcendental pastimes of personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships with him relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. And 20? Can someone read 20?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Shall I try, Prabhu?
Yeah.
कृत्वा न किल्कर्माणि सह रामेण केशवः अतिमत्याणि भगवान् गूढाकपटमानुषः. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balram, played like a human being and so masked his performed many superhuman acts. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks so much, Mataji. So, Gaurav Prabhu, you go to summary. Summary means, all only text is there, no? Go that one.
Where's that, Prabhuji?
You click that link, the chapter name on the top. No, down. No.
Sorry.
No, yeah. Just click it. Perfect. Yeah. And move from 15 onwards. Okay. Now we recited verses 15 to 20. So we'll have a discussion on that one. Okay, so this complete chapter, rest of the chapter is questions by sages only, sages of name Saranya. Okay, now they have chosen the subject matter. What is it? Krishna. Okay, so who born from the womb of Devaki? So they want to know about him, and why? Because by knowing, by meditating, by chanting the names of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna will only relieve us from this birth, death, old age, disease, this cycle. Okay, and in 15, they are saying, O Suta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of lotus feet of Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. So in this verse, in the purport, Prabhupada has very beautifully explained, okay, the importance of taking association of pure devotees. Yeah, actually we are very fortunate. Okay, past 1 month or 1.5 months, we are continuously, taking the association of great souls who are visiting. We have Atal Krishna Prabhu, Satakirti Prabhu, Prananda Prabhu is right now here. So like this, and Vayasaki Prabhu is coming. So the association of, these great souls, they are all like sages, they are all sadhus, they are all sannyasis. Okay, Prabhupada mentioned that sanctifies the soul even more than, that is very important, even more than taking bath in Ganges. Of course, the Ganges is very holy river, and our scriptures are saying, those who take bath in Ganges, okay, they will be purified. Of course, it doesn't mean, okay, we can do sins, offenses, and go and take a dip. It's not like that. Okay, so we have to practice our sadhana, and then we have to be very sincere. On top of that, this will help. Okay, but we cannot go daily and take a dip in Ganges, isn't it? It's not possible for anyone. Okay, but what is possible? It is very, very possible to be in the association of devotees. Okay, and to take the opportunity, use the opportunity of associating with the devotees. That is possible for us. Yeah. So I think I mentioned this once. I will repeat because it's more appropriate. So in my initial days when I came to ISKCON, one senior devotee, one day what happened? Night 11 o'clock. Yeah, actually I just slept, went to bed maybe half an hour before, something like that. I got a call from Prabhuji. So I received the call and he said, Prabhuji, how are you? And I said, yes, Prabhuji, I thought, it's very emergency call. Yeah. And then I said, yes, Prabhuji, I am very fine. How are you, Prabhuji? And he said, yeah, I am also fine, Prabhuji. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Good night. That's it. He disconnected the call. I didn't understand why he called me night at 11 o'clock, but he did not say anything. Does he want to say something? But, hesitated, something like that. And the following Sunday, when I met him in the temple while taking prasadam, I asked, Prabhuji, you called me, last Wednesday. Yeah. But you did not say anything. It's night 11 o'clock. What is the purpose of the call? You want to say something, but again hesitated to say, please, tell me. And then he said, no, Prabhuji. Sunday we'll have association of devotees. Okay. But Monday to Friday, Saturdays, sometimes, when we have house programs only, we, associate. Okay. But Monday to Friday working days, I don't get any association. That's why I have taken a vow that, I have to dial a devotee daily, at least one devotee, and hear his voice. He mentioned here his transcendental voice, like that. And just speak, few minutes. Okay, so that I don't feel like I am missing the association. Yeah, because at workplace, we always deal with, mundane people. So, and that day I traveled to London and I was very busy in London. I couldn't dial any devotee. Then I thought, okay, night 11 o'clock, I came my hotel room. Then I thought, oh, am I going to miss devotee association today? Am I breaking my, one of the key factor of sadhana? Then he thought, okay, night 11 o'clock, no problem. If I call, I was not initiated that time. If I call Radha Prabhu, so he don't think, bad. So that's why I called you. And I heard your voice. At the same time, I don't want to disturb you much. So that's why, I disconnected. So that I felt like, yes, today also I got the association. Then I understood, oh my God, how much serious this devotee is taking the association of devotees. How much importance it is. So, daily speaking of one devotee, that's his thing. Okay. Then I understood. Okay. And he's a senior devotee, so, and I am very new. And he's saying, I heard your transcendental voice. I felt really very, discomfort. So that is, his, level of thinking in the initial days. So this is one example, practical example. Why I am giving this practical example is, okay, it's not like the sages want the association. Okay, so these are all explained for our purpose. Yesterday also, Pranananda Prabhu mentioned, taking the association wherever possible is very, very important. The same Pranananda Prabhu, he gave one class on Friday, and he gave another class on Saturday, and he gave another class on Sunday, and again in another devotee's house yesterday evening, the same Prabhuji 4. But what he said is, okay, the same devotees are repeating. Why? No, we already heard yesterday. It's all right, we already attended 2 classes. No, because what Shastras are saying, what our Acharyas are recommending, whenever possible, until and unless, you have some important work. Okay. Otherwise, wherever possible, whenever possible, when we get the chance of associating with devotees, okay, that we have to utilize. Okay. We attended 4 days means 4 times we dip in Ganges. Okay. Such powerful the association is. Okay. That's why here the sages are saying, yeah. So, O Suta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify. See, now who are going to deliver the jiva? Who are going to deliver the conditioned soul? They are mentioning the pure devotees of the Lord. They are not saying here Lord. Yeah, the pure devotees of the Lord, they can sanctify those who come in touch with them. We know the best example of Narada Muni. And, he was the son of the maid servant, but, he served, the sadhus. Okay. And we know. Yeah. And Pranavananda Prabhu also actually mentioned, like, so while he is serving His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, it's not just Maharaj, so to meet Maharaj, many other sannyasis, they used to come. Yeah. And, when Prabhuji makes some prasadam for Maharaj, so they, he used to make for other sannyasis also. And, they all, honor the prasadam. Okay. So, Prananda Prabhu, it's not just blessings of his guru, spiritual master. Yeah. He got the blessings of all sannyasis. So that is, that is a power. That is the power of, taking the association of sadhus, taking the association of pure souls. Here, in this verse 15, sages are also confirming the same. Why? Because these pure souls, they take the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Since they have taken the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, by associating with them, okay, they have the power to deliver us. The Guru has the power to deliver us. The Shastras have the power to deliver us. Sadhus have the power to deliver us because they are in association of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so that is the importance of associating with devotees. So we should always remember: do not miss any chance of associating with these great sannyasis. Okay, and when such opportunity is coming, who will lose that opportunity? So they are questioning. Okay, who is there desiring deliverance from vice of age of quarrel? Who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of Lord? When we hear the virtuous glories of the Lord, when we hear the pastimes of the Lord, when we chant the holy names of the Lord, okay, when we associate with the devotees of the Lord, there is a great benefit happening to the conditioned soul. Then who will miss that opportunity? So means their intention in this question is an intelligent person will not miss. But this is Kali Yuga. Yeah? In this Kali Yuga, Mudhas, many Mudhas are there. They don't know the value. They treat, devotees as, mundane, to other materialistic people. And they don't know the value of our scriptures. They don't know the value of Guru. They don't know the value of sadhus and their association. Okay. But if they have any intelligence, any person, they will not miss that opportunity. Okay. So that's why, see, those who consider Ganges water as an ordinary water, or those who consider Tulsi Maharani as an ordinary plant, are those who discriminate Vaishnava based on race, religion, caste. Okay, are those who consider the names of Lord as an ordinary sound vibration. Okay, they will be permanently reside in hellish planets. This is mentioned in Vishnu Purana. Okay, so that's why these things are very very dangerous. That's why we worship Tulsi with utmost care. And we chant the holy names with more attentive. Okay, and we take the association of, see, remember one point. Okay, association of not only sannyasis, sadhus, guests coming to our temple, our regular devotees who are visiting, so also very very we have to be careful. One day I was taking prasad again, sitting with senior devotees. They said, when we meet people regularly every Sunday, every Saturday morning, we don't know their value. Yeah, of course there are very friendly with us, which is good. That is the environment we have. Okay, but do not underestimate them. The Prabhuji is saying, someone sits next to you and taking prasadam and speaking to you. Okay, or someone he will keep his hand on your shoulder and speak to you like a friend. Okay, don't take it granted, like just like any other friend he is. Including children, he mentioned, the Prabhuji mentioned. We have small children, many small children. Kabir is there, Sujan is there, Hari is there. Okay, Ashwant is there, many Nima, there are so many small children are there. Who knows, in their past life they have done so much, bhakti. That's why now in this lifetime, in the very small age, okay, they are coming to temple, learning something, serving the lordships. Who knows? Okay, they may be senior to us. We have to be always conscious. We have many young devotees. So in this young age, okay, so they are serving the temple, they are chanting, they are reciting scriptures. Okay, so who knows? So they are carrying their bhakti, from the previous birth. Okay, they will definitely senior to us, because the seniority doesn't come by age. Point number one, and in this lifetime, no, definitely not. Yeah, so this carries from previous, even before, like that. So that's why so we have to respect this. Consciousness should be there in our mind all the time. Okay, wherever required, we may correct them, we may chastise them. I was recording drama dialogues a couple of weeks back. So they are all making some noise and naughty things, and so I have to chastise them to keep quiet. Those things will happen, but it doesn't mean that so we are bigger than them. So that consciousness should always be there within our mind. These souls are not ordinary souls. Okay, Prabhuji mentioned yesterday, that's why our organization is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We have to be conscious of all these things. So many Matajis, they cook in the temple. Okay, we honor their prasadam. Yeah? So with pure consciousness, they cook in the kitchen. Yeah. So our body is made up of the prasadam fed by these wonderful souls. Okay, so that is the difference between ISKCON and other any spiritual organizations. Okay, in day-to-day matter, we may speak friendly, those things. Yeah, but we have to always be conscious. They are not an ordinary souls. Okay, this is very very important. Okay, so that's why. And who is that? Who are those unfortunate souls who are not at all interested? Those who don't know the value of all these things which we discussed so far. they are the most unfortunate souls. Okay, I think I posted this question also in the group. Those who don't get the association, I also given that option. Yeah, but that is not the correct one. If we have the desire, yeah, I have already given the example. The Prabhuji dialed me. Okay, a devotee, even he is in the desert, if he has the desire to get the association, the Lord will provide. Okay, so that's why Krishna always, gives the association if we, desire it. But if we have no desire at all, then we are the unfortunate souls. Okay, and then sages are saying his transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. So, therefore, speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventurous he performs and his various incarnations. Bhagavad Gita also, it is mentioned, Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, Krishna said, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And who confirmed it? Great sages like Narada, Asita, Tumbura, Vyasa, so on and so forth. There are many. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimbarkacharya, so many great, acharyas also confirmed. Okay, so here they are saying, we are very, very eager to hear his adventurous pastimes, his incarnations. Okay, therefore, please speak to us. Okay, and they are saying, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of Supreme God's multi-incarnations. They clearly mentioned, not just Krishna. Okay, just all avatars of Krishna. We want to know. Yeah, multi-incarnations of Krishna. So we want to hear, because they are very, very auspicious. Those pastimes are very, very auspicious. And how the Lord performed those pastimes? Using his energies, different energies. Yeah, as a tortoise, as a boar, as a half lion, half man. Yeah, so the Lord has, even as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he made so many pastimes. Okay, so using the Lord, using his energies, both internal and external, he has performed so many activities, and he appeared in so many different incarnations. Okay, we want to hear all of them. And they are saying, we never tired of hearing. Yeah, so started, whenever we have festivals or events, like our devotees, the recent example on Saturday. Okay, so they have so many services they started doing. Saturday cooking started somewhere at afternoon, till evening. And again the same devotees, so again, helped in, loading, unloading, some other, like this, so many things. Sometimes physically, definitely will tire. Okay, but here the sages are saying we never tire of hearing. There are two types, we need to understand. Okay, physical service is there and mental service is there. Hearing, yeah, just sitting and hearing. Okay, but still people feel like, they get, very bored, like that. No, the mind has to be focused, whatever the speaker is, speaking, or whatever the kirtan is going on that, on that transcendental sound vibration. We have to focus the mind. Okay, in this age of Kali, particularly, people even sitting and hearing also, they feel tired. Okay, and Obviously, ours is service-oriented spiritual organization. When it is a service-oriented spiritual organization, okay, service means we have to use our body also. So the all limbs of the body, the devotees use in the service of the Lord. Okay, since our body is a material body, not spiritual body, some tiredness will be there. Body aches, some tiredness is there. But there is a sweetness, is a tiredness. Remember, okay, there is a sweetness in this tiredness, because this tiredness empowers the soul. Yeah, since the soul occupied the material body, that bodily tiredness will be there, but there is a sweetness. Yeah, and the same feel we don't get if we use the same effort in any other mundane events. Okay, we don't feel that that bliss. Remember, so many mundane events happen. So and so gathering, that gathering, this gathering, so that party, this party, like that. But definitely we don't feel the same bliss. The soul genuinely experiences the bliss, okay, when it engages itself in the service of the Lord. Okay, body, mind, and words. Okay, so that's why sages are saying they don't tire. Okay, hearing again and again and again. It means they're saying we don't get bored. We don't get bored of hearing the Lord's pastimes. Yeah, same pastime, no problem, we'll hear. Same pastime, no problem, we'll hear. There is a beautiful story. I would like to mention here. There is maybe most of you know it. There is a great devotee in Kerala. His name is Kundanam. Kundanam, his name. And he born in a low caste family. But this Kundanam is very, very, very famous in Bhagavatam recitation. He is very popular. He explains Bhagavatam so nicely, people get attracted to him. So in Kerala, at some other place, there is a the temple of Lord Shiva. And they celebrate, annual celebrations are there, like Brahmosavas, something like that. Okay, every year, annual celebrations, 7 days. Okay, the complete celebrations are there. So the temple management thought, let us invite Kundanam and let us request him to recite Srimad Bhagavatam all these 7 days, so that devotees will, get happy. Because Kundanam is very famous in Srimad Bhagavatam recitation. So they requested, Kundanam to come and, so do Bhagavatam recitation. Kundanam said, okay, no problem. So Kundanam came. Okay, the first day, he started, speaking about the topic of Krishna teasing Rukmini. Okay, so beautiful, lecture he delivered on the topic Krishna teasing Rukmini. And that pastime is over. And in the book, he put the bookmark at the end of the chapter. Okay, and he gave to the authorities, and they put it in the altar, the Bhagavatam book, in the main altar, in Garbhagudi. They put it there. Perfect. Okay. The next day again, Kundanam came. Okay. Now he is supposed to recite the next chapter. But when he opened the book, this bookmark is at the beginning of the same chapter, Krishna teasing Rukmini. He saw it, oh, why it is in the beginning? I already spoke. But anyway, again, the second day also he spoke the same pastime. And everyone again, they heard very, attentively. And again, he put the bookmark at the end of the chapter, and the book is in the main altar. Third day he came. Third day also, again, the bookmark is at the beginning of the chapter. Kundanam, he did not understand, why again it is in the beginning. I remember I spoke and then I put the bookmark at the end. But again, he thought, anyway, let me speak the same. I don't know why it is at the beginning of the chapter. All 7 days, the same thing is repeating. He finishes the chapter, but the bookmark comes beginning of the chapter. He asked the temple authorities, is anyone touching the book? After I finished, I am handing over the book to you. No. We just keeping the book in the main altar in Garbhagudi, and we just lock the door at the end. So no one will touch. Anyway, so all 7 days are gone, completed. So all 7 days, the same thing is repeating. The bookmark comes to the beginning, and Kundanam, all 7 days he spoke the same pastime. No one questioned him. That is a very, very important point we need to remember. No one questioned him. Okay? All 7 days, they heard, very, happily, they completely, immersed in the beautiful lecture of Kundana. And then, 7th day is done, and then Kundanam started to his place, and he need to cross the river in a boat. And he came to the, near the boat. Then he recollected, he forgot the book. The book is in the temple. Oh, Krishna, the book is in the temple. Let me go and bring my book. He came again back. They closed the temple, they locked it, and no one is there. Everyone went. But he could hear some voice from the Garbhagudi, from main altar. Then Kundanam went to the door, and he has seen through the hole, and he was really shocked. What has happened inside? Lord Shiva, he opened the book and he is reciting the chapter Krishna teasing Rukmini, and Mother Parvati is hearing, and Lord Ganesh is there, he is hearing, and Murugan is there, Kumar Swami, he is hearing, and Nandi is there, he is hearing, and all Brahmaganas, they are also hearing from Lord Shiva. And all Bhuta, Preta, Pisachas, whoever Lord Shiva takes care, they are also floating in the air and hearing, the recitation of Lord Shiva, the chapter, Krishna teasing Rukmini. Lord Shiva completed the chapter, whole chapter, and Kundanam just mesmerized. He just watching like that. And at the end, after the recitation finished, Lord Shiva asked Parvati, my dear wife, how was my recitation? Have you understood? Everyone understood? Did I deliver nicely? Then Mother Parvati said, my dear husband, your recitation is okay, but not as good as Kundanam's. I want to hear this from Kundanam again. That's why all these days, such a beautiful, pastime. Okay, I keep on booking the bookmark at the beginning because I want to hear the same again and again. What is such a wonderful recitation by Kundanam? What's such a beautiful, the Supreme Personality of Godhead teasing Rukmini. Yeah, this is my favorite for pastime. Your recitation is okay, but my favorite speaker is Kundana. Yeah. So we can understand, from this, pastime. Okay. Devotees, they don't get bored. They don't get, maybe same speaker, speaking, continuous lectures, okay, or same topic if they speak continuously, or His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj or any other sannyasis, sometimes they speak 2 hour, even in India, 2 hour, 3 hour lectures continuously. But they don't devotees, they sit and hear. Okay, they don't feel, oh my God, 1 hour is over, 2 hours is over, like that. I heard in one of the lectures, during Prabhupada time, in Janmashtami celebrations are over, night 12 o'clock. And then Prabhupada said, okay, shall we now, no, let us read Krishna book. And Prabhupada started, after midnight, 12 o'clock onwards. And till, next day morning. Yeah. Prabhupada is explaining and devotees hearing, Prabhupada is explaining, devotees are hearing. Of course, some people may feel sleepy. Yeah. But still, yes, they are there, they are hearing, they are enjoying. Okay. So this is one thing, we need to cultivate. So physical tiredness may be there, mental tiredness may be there, but that shouldn't become obstacle for. Yes, Yamnavilas Prabhu, you raised your hand.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Should I ask now or later?
Yeah, you can ask now. Yeah.
Like I got like feedback. I mean, from one devotee.
Mm.
He mentioned that the topics of our Sunday programs are like always the same topic.
Mm.
And I was a bit surprised. And
Mm.
as we know that we shouldn't get tired. I mean, even Prabhupada sometimes speaks the same thing because
Mm.
it's
Mm.
important. That's why it's repetitive.
Mm. Mm.
So, but that devotee, I mean, not naming, but when the devotee expressed that the Sunday topics are same topics, that's why I'm not feeling
Mm.
interested
Mm.
to attend the class. And we
Mm.
sometimes
Mm.
see is like devotees, they stay outside. Even sometimes there is space inside the temple hall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, what do you think? Like when we have a topic, is it like some topics may be repetitive, or because Sunday topics are even one another devotee also made a comment
Mm.
that the Sunday classes are not, I mean, the speakers are speaking the same topic. It's not deep. But my
Mm. Mm.
understanding is Sunday feast is like more for those who are coming new. And even if one single person is also new, we need
Yeah,
to keep a topic which they can understand or relate.
yeah.
So, what is your suggestion or what is your opinion on that? That the topic about Sunday topic, uh, it may be sometimes a new topic and which is again and again we are hearing. It's not
Yeah,
going
yeah,
deep,
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
going deep.
Mm.
Uh, so, what's
No,
your
probably.
opinion on that?
Yeah, yeah. No, no, definitely. So generally, Sunday feast lectures should be for general public. Hmm? So, and actually, but recently also, one of one devotee mentioned to me that Sunday feast lectures are not much, focusing, to create interest in general public. Okay, Sunday feast lectures should not be, we should not give a deep philosophy. When we started, in the initial days, actually, um, the design we planned is, Radhamohan Prabhu, when they are all here, that the design is Sunday feast lectures. In Sunday feast lectures, less philosophy, okay, more pastimes from Bhagavatam or Ramayana or um, like scriptures, Mahabharat, okay, and from those stories we need to extract the point that could be helpful for us to implement in the daily life, because general public, so they are, they will connect. Our regular devotees, okay, so that's why Saturday morning programs are for the regular devotees, but Sunday feast lectures are actually meant exclusively for new people, less philosophy, no deep philosophy, and but story format. And from that story, again, story means it's not story, what is the lesson we are learning from that story. So this will create interest in general public. That is the original design. But in due course of time, recently one Prabhuji told me, he said, Prabhuji, today we have many new people, but Sunday feast is too deep philosophy, and the newcomers are saying, they didn't understand anything. Okay, so that comment, I told him, okay, I will speak to, Nataraj Prabhu, like that. So Sunday feast, the design is, that is meant for new, people, general public, and it shouldn't have a deep philosophy. Okay, and we have to give the lecture in a story format and extract the lessons we can learn from that story. That is the most ideal scenario. That is what actually originally we designed. So devotees who already knew these pastimes, who already knew these things, they may feel bored, definitely. Yeah, but we have to sacrifice, of course. Great sages, they don't get bored, as per this verse. But we are all practitioners. Okay, so our devotees, they may feel bored, but we have to sacrifice for general public. At the same time, it is not supposed to repeat, definitely. For example, this Sunday, I told some story, from scriptures. Next Sunday, if next speaker also, if he tells the same story, okay, no, it is not supposed to, like that. Okay, so this is what originally planned, Prabhuji. But sometimes what happens, devotees, they choose the topic, and some devotees, they are very much interested to give the deep philosophy. Hmm? And I have the experience, when I give the classes, devotees say, Prabhuji, you spoke very basic, like that. So they are not happy, with that basic stuff. Okay, and sometimes new people, they heard the classes, and like as I told you, very recently this happened, I think 2-3 weeks back, and they used to give the comments, they did not understand, much, like that. So, but basically Sunday feast is for general public. Okay, and we have to sit and hear the class. Okay, and if we get bored also, we have to sacrifice for the sake of general public. And also speaker also, they have to, I regularly, I keep reminding Nataraj Prabhu, just please keep this in mind. But sometimes some devotees, they want to give some, though they started, but in the flow, sometimes though they go deep in the philosophy. Yeah, but high priority is to attract the general public. That is high. It has to be interactive. If it is very interactive, okay, so that people will be attentive. And definitely, yes, if our devotees get bored, but we have to sacrifice for the benefit of general public. Got it, Prabhu Amanalas Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. But
So
anyways,
Sunday,
my like what I understand, even if it's repetitive, you shouldn't go out. Not
exactly,
that's
definitely, definitely.
because
That is the
otherwise
next level.
you are losing the benefit also of hearing an association.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah,
think,
yeah. True,
oh,
true, true.
I know this pastime before, and oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same. It's repetitive. Let me not attend the class itself. Then
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
No,
I
no.
came across that I'm not naming, but when I was also a bit surprised. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I asked you.
No, no, no. Definitely, you are correct. You are correct. So even though if it is repetitive, yeah. So we are not supposed to feel that bored. So that comes, this is where the spiritual progress. We can self retrospect ourselves. For example, if I am feeling bored, means immediately I have to at least understand the fact. Oh, it means still I am not progressing properly, so I am not advancing properly, so still I need to tune my consciousness. Okay,
Prabhuji,
not
about
on
conscious. Sorry.
not only that one, so um, whoever speaks, we have to be in the class. Yeah, they mentioned before. For example, like even Haridev sits on Vyasas and speaks, or very young devotee sits on Vyasas and speaks. Okay, He has given that service. He sits on Vyasas and speaks. We have to sit and hear. Okay. Oh, I am a senior devotee. Oh, who is who is giving class here? Check the IM info. Oh, okay. So he is very youngster. Okay. So and oh, this is the topic. Oh, I already knew this topic. What is there to sit and hear? No, definitely not. So whoever speaks, we have to sit and hear. Okay. And if we go one point further, not all devotees are can nicely communicate. Yeah. So some devotees may not have that that oratory skills. Yeah. So we are not expecting here the devotees communication. Okay. So no problem. Still we have to sit and hear because he is delivering Krishna Katha. That is one step further. Yeah. So like that, definitely, we are not supposed to get bored. If the same topic repeats. And second point, we are not supposed to think, oh, he is my junior. I am not supposed to, there is nothing to hear. Or, oh, this is the topic. I already knew it. Okay. So even small boy like Kabir, Hari, or Sujan, so these sits and speaks, we have to hear. Okay. And fourth one, the speaker may not have very wonderful communication skills. Yeah, we are not sitting there to enjoy their communication skills. Yeah, as long as they are delivering a Krishna Katha, we have to enjoy that Krishna Katha. That is very, very important. Oh, so and so speaker, okay, he doesn't have proper communication skills to deliver. It will be very bored. Like that. No, definitely. So these are all some sort of obstacles, to purify our consciousness. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So 1 minute. Okay. So here the devotees are saying like, we never tire of hearing transcendental pastimes of personality of Godhead. Yesterday I have seen, our Sriram Prabhu on his t-shirt. It's written re-tired. And some text is given. It's not retired. Okay, retired. And I am again tired. I am tired yesterday and I am again tired today. That is its meaning. Yeah. Immediately I felt devotees, they will never retire, but they always retire. Yeah. So continuous services. Yeah. So devotees retire, but they never retire from service. This just came in my mind when I saw, that, retire, and the meaning given means, I again tired, like that. So the devotees, they never retire from service. They always retire, while doing services. And there is a bliss in that one. Okay. That point, I just, would like to make here. Okay. So we never tire of hearing. Yeah. So we have to come to that, stage of, never tire of, hearing. And who is glorified by hymns and prayers? Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships with him, relish hearing his pastimes at every moment. So here, we already discussed. Okay, we hear Srimad Bhagavatam for purification. Okay, for our purification, and for great souls for relishment. They relish again and again and again. They don't feel bored of it. Okay. And text 20, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balaram. Oh, so I actually, this is the question I thought of posting in the group. So the beautiful, in this verse it says, Krutavan kila karmani saha ramena keshava. Saha ramena. See, sages are saying not only just Krishna's pastimes. Saha ramena, along with Ram. Along with Ram. Ram means, who is that Ram? Balaram. Isn't it? And who is Balaram? The Adi Guru. Yeah. In our Hare Krishna Mahamantra also, Ram means Balaram. Isn't it? Yeah. So, Saha Ramena Kesava, they clearly mentioning not only just Krishna's pastimes, Saha Ramena, along with Balaram, we want to hear. Okay. So, that is very, very important. And bear in mind, Balaram is Adi Guru. So, do not ignore spiritual master. Sages are giving here the hint. So, we want here Krishna and we want along with Balaram. And Balaram is Adi Guru. Yeah. So, maybe you remember this one. Bhagavan means Bhagavan, Bhagavata, and Bhakti together, isn't it? Okay. So, that's why we cannot separate Guru from Krishna. It's an integral part. Guru is integral part of Krishna. He is worshipped as equal as Krishna. Okay. So this is very, very Saharamena Kesava is very, very significant in this verse for us to understand. Okay. We need the blessing of Guru also. Balaram is Adi Guru. Okay. So we want here Balaram's pastimes also means here we need to take the context that Guru also important in our life. Not just Krishna. Sages in Naimisaranya, they want to hear Krishna's pastimes along with Balaram. Okay. And so masked he performed many superhuman acts. Okay. We will continue in the next session. So far, I think you understood whatever we discussed from 15 to 20 onwards, all the key points. Okay. And how the sages are, trying to tune our mind. Yeah. So want to hear from Krishna. Subject matter is very, very important. Not only just Krishna, Balaramena Keshava, along with Balaram. Okay. And we never tired hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Maybe same pastime. Okay. Again and again also we don't tire. Okay. Irrespective of speaker, every speaker is a representative of Srila Vasudev. We have to honor them, no matter whether it is a male, female, okay, a boy, youngster, middle age, no matter, okay. And it's not like just only respect sannyasis, sadhus, guest speakers, but so just take it granted and ignore other devotees like that. So this is all, this first chapter is very, very important for us to tune our consciousness. Okay. So thank you so much for your attentive hearing. Again, we will meet next Monday. Any questions if you have, please post me. Either in the group or one-to-one, so that we will address those questions. Definitely. Okay. Don't keep, my humble request is don't keep any question within your mind. Okay. Any questions, please make a note and so post either in the group or in you can send me a direct message also. Okay. So thank you so much. So we'll terminate, conclude the class here. We will meet next Monday evening, 7:30. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Panchakalpatarubhyasya
Bhagavatam.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare